Approximately 80,000 U.S. soldiers have been deployed in NATO European countries to support U.S. allies and to deter further Russian aggression. This was in a letter from U.S. President Joe Biden to the Speaker of the House. The letter mentioned that, in furtherance of counterterrorism efforts, the United States continues to work with partners around the globe. In this context, the United States has deployed forces to conduct counterterrorism operations and to advise, assist, and accompany security forces of select foreign partners on counterterrorism operations, U.S. President said. Among other things, the report also notes that around 80,000 U.S. military personnel are based in European NATO countries. Approximately 80,000 United States Armed Forces personnel are assigned or deployed to North Atlantic Treaty Organization countries in Europe, including those deployed to reassure our allies and to deter further Russian aggression, U.S. President said. In early 2022, Biden considered and officially approved the deployment of additional U.S. military forces in Eastern Europe due to the threat of Russian aggression. In the spring of 2022, Western media reported that the U.S. might leave a reinforced military contingent of 100,000 service members in Europe. This move was reportedly being considered if Russia did not stop its large-scale war against Ukraine and ceased threatening Finland, Sweden, and NATO. At the time, CNN reported that the U.S. had increased its forces in Europe from about 60,000 personnel before Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine to approximately 100,000. However, despite Russia's ongoing aggression, Biden's current report on the U.S. military presence in NATO member countries shows that the number of U.S. service members in Europe currently stands at 80,000. Additionally, at the end of August, Finland expressed a desire to host troops from several NATO countries on its territory due to potential threats from Russia. Earlier in the fall, it was reported that the U.S. was increasing its naval presence near Alaska in response to Russian activity. Syrian opposition fighters have captured the central city of Hama, Syria's fourth largest, after the army said it withdrew to avoid fighting inside the city and spare the lives of civilians. Military planes, helicopters and missiles were left in the base as the Syrian army redeployed outside the city. Ahmad al-Ahmed, an opposition fighter, said standing next to a military jet, "This plane is for Bashar, the criminal, who was bombing civilians." Outside Hama Governorate building, fighters on Friday were shooting in the air in celebration. Syrian insurgents swept into the city on Thursday, days after insurgents captured much of Aleppo, the country's largest city. The stunning week-long offensive appeared likely to continue, with insurgents setting their sights on Homs, the country's third-largest city. Homs, which is about 40 kilometers south of Hama, is the gate to the capital, Damascus, Assad's seat of power in the coastal region that is a base of support for him. The offensive is being led by the jihadi group HTS and an umbrella group of Turkish-backed Syrian militias called the Syrian National Army. Their sudden capture of Aleppo, an ancient business hub in the north, reignited the Syrian civil war that had been largely a stalemate for the past few years. Hama is one of the few cities that has remained mostly under government control in the conflict, which broke out in March 2011 following a popular uprising.